Our Spring Challenge 3 here at this tournament. I am Jesus Coronel, that's Dennis Geisler. Welcome to Regulation I. We have a lot to talk about in this regulation. 2 restricteds. Is it better than 1?
I mean, objectively, the teams are stronger, and I mean, you have so much more, I guess, firepower in terms of the restricteds that you have, and I don't know, it's led to some pretty interesting teams coming through. It's also post-Milwaukee, which means that there are a lot of teams here that are heavily influenced by the learnings from that point. And we're seeing some of that here. We've got Tyler Deacy and Robert Matthews.
Yeah, we do. Tyler going to be showing off Zamazenta, Lunala, Tornadus Incarnate, Rillaboom Incineroar, and Urshifu Rapid Strike. Robert on a signature Koraidon with Araquanid and his partners of Rillaboom, Raging Bolt, Lunala, and Ogremon Heartflame.
Yeah, I mean, the most notable thing to me, and obviously Lunala was pretty good in Reg G and not completely unthought of early on in Reg I, but definitely one of the big adaptations in Milwaukee was how good Lunala is, and so we're seeing both of them playing right now. And also, I mean, there are a lot of restricteds that we're not seeing in this matchup here that we'll definitely get to in the future, but there's still a lot of value in balance. Both these players running Rillaboom fake-out stuff, both of them running various other utility. Obviously, Incineroar's got the Intimidate. Ogerpon Heartflame has the... I lied, it doesn't have...
Yeah, we're not going to discuss too much information because, you know, things are meant to be surprise factor, which we're going to see right now in game number 1 of round number 1. Robert leading the Raging Bolt and Lunala. Tyler leads the Incineroar Lunala, so both Shadow Bats are in play. This Incinerate's not going to do much of anything, but Robert's Lunala has to be wary of this Incineroar.
Yeah, and they also have to be kind of wary of each other. That's always the weird thing about this matchup, is that Moongeist is so good against other Lunalas head-to-head. And so, yeah, somebody probably had to switch out Ortera turn 1. I'm not shocked that it's Robert, knowing that you also had fake-out pressure coming as well.
Yeah, and now we have the Lunala from Robert switching out into the Ogerpon to avoid Moongeist Beam's ignoration of abilities. But Incineroar also switches out from Tyler into the Zamazenta to get that defense boost. Kind of wondering where this turn's going to go out from here on forward, and it looks like Tyler's going to tear the Lunala.
Probably to make sure, I mean, there's not a whole lot that can hit you that badly if you're Fairy right now, and a lot of Lunala teams are built around, like, I can Terra Lunala, Terra Fairy whenever I want, because you kind of need to do that a lot of the time, and yeah, Calm Mind's a nice choice here. If Raging Bolt doesn't go for... I mean, a Snarl would probably be worst case scenario. And it
is a Snarl, which misses something. Oh, it missed the Lunala! That's actually really big!
So yeah, that's actually a huge turn for Tyler now, because you have the +1 Lunala at this point. You still have Shadow Shield active, and you could just start hitting things.
Oh, what exactly? Because Dazzling Beam is appealing against that Raging Bolt, but your best damage looks like to be that Moongeist Beam. And, okay, we do see the Zamazenta switch out, so Dauntless Shield is now permanently gone for the rest of the battle, and Keynote is Incineroar switching in for the Ogerpon on this Intimidate.
Yeah. It gives you fake-out pressure once again. The defense boost doesn't do a ton for you.
Thunderclap on the Lunala to break the Shadow Shield, but because of the +1 special defense, it's not really doing too much. Follow-up Ivy Council gets a critical hit, but it doesn't knock out Lunala quite yet. Here's Moongeist Beam in retaliation from this Lunala at +1 special attack. It knocks out the Ogerpon in return.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I was worried about the crit there for a minute. And it certainly did a lot to Lunala. It will heal a little bit up. It has the leftovers. It has the ability to stall out a little bit of time with that, especially alongside the Incineroar.
And here's Koraidon for Robert, so Orichalcum Pulse will activate to get the sunlight up, get its attack boosted, and Raging Bolt's Photosynthesis also activates, giving it a special attack boost. The thing now is, Fake Out's going to be a big option to either one of these two Pokemon. We just don't know where it goes.
Yeah, and the big problem here is that Tyler kind of has to play a little bit on the passive side. Which isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. And yeah, the Koraidon going Terra right now makes sense. There's not really a whole lot that threatens it in that in that sense.
Other than Dazzling Gleam, if Lunala gets to survive the turn, which it will survive the turn, not to Disprotect.
Well, that's the point. That's why it Terras, because now it's not really afraid of Dazzling Gleam.
Here's Flame Charge, and it tried to get a speed boost onto this Lunala, and it just hits straight into a wall, unfortunately. Here's Thunderbolt, also the Lunala.
Okay. That's kind of surprising that there's... well, actually, it was expecting the fake out there.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there's a Will-O-Wisp now from this Incineroar, and that actually makes a lot more sense why Robert Terra Fire, because before you were just a Fighting and Dragon type, and that would get burned by Will-O-Wisp, but because Corona is now a Fire type, Fire types cannot get burned by Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah, definitely a good move there. At this point, Robert's kind of playing from behind a bit. Just, I mean, you're down a Pokemon. And, I mean, Koraidon does have a lot of openings to attack here. It's just kind of an awkward spot where it's like, okay, what do you attack with this Koraidon to try to set up everything in a good spot here? Because you have two fairly bulky Pokemon with a lot of HP remaining.
Here's Flame Charge. I mean, yeah, this is a lot of bulk from both sides, but let's see how well the Zamasensa takes the Flame Charge. Oh, barely survives on 24 HP and gets a speed boost after the Flame Charge resolves. Here is Thunderbolt onto the Zamasensa as well, so it doubles and gets the KO on the Zamasensa. Incineroar still has free reign to use one of its attacks here. It's going to be the knockoff onto the Koraidon, which is going to knock off that Clear Amulet.
Yeah, the only real benefit there is to try to slow down the Koraidon. You can now Parting Shot it, you can now Intimidate it on the on coming back in. The problem is that this is already a pretty dangerous spot to be in. Yeah,
especially with this tornado that's now from Tyler, which is going to use that rain net to not only get rid of the sun, not only get rid of the Orichalcum Boost multiplier, but it also gets rid of Photosynthesis on Raging Bolt.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit before, but every team in this metagame either is running Sun or has a way to counter Sun. And Tornadus Rain Dance is definitely one of the easiest ways to do it.
There's Thunderbolt now onto the Incineroar. Doesn't even take it under half HP. And there's the Parting Shot onto the Koraidon to drop its attack stat after the Clear got knocked off, but not before Koraidon got another speed boost with Flame Charge.
Yeah. Although at this point, it's at +2 speed, but -1 attack, plus an Intimidate switch in whenever that happens. I feel like you probably just need to switch out Koraidon at this point, which feels not great because you're running kind of passive at that point, but that's the nice thing about the Parting Shot switch out is you do get the Leftovers recovery on that turn. But now, yeah, the difficult thing is you probably do just have to switch in Lunala right now if you're Robert, which doesn't really feel great, but that's the only way that Koraidon is really going to be able to clean up the endgame of this.
Yeah, and there's more safety measures against that Tornadus as well, because Tornadus was threatening weak wind storm damage, with higher values having Rain Dance in case Koraidon does switch out. And there's another Intimidate coming out from this Incineroar into the Koraidon for that attack drop. And Collision Course correctly targets the Incineroar, but will it knock out at -2 attack plus the multiplier? It still does!
Okay. Making a call. Certainly worked out, and I mean, at this point, at this point, the Koraidon definitely... I don't even think it's strictly necessary to win this game. We'll see how much Dazzling Gleam does.
Yeah, I was about to comment about the Raging Bolt surviving Dazzling Gleam, but it looks like without a Calm Mind, it's not doing a whole lot of damage. That was also a critical hit to the Koraidon, and that still struck it off. His Thunderbolt onto the Lunala, hangs on to 6 HP, and no paralysis.
Yeah, but still, Raging Bolt is matching up pretty well in the Lunala right now, and obviously has a nice opportunity to take out the Tornadoes basically whenever it wants. Either whenever it reads Oblique Wind or whenever it wants otherwise. Robert's in a very good position is basically what I'm getting at with all this.
Yeah, Robert's in a great position. I mean, yeah. You know, -2 Collision Course it's still going to do a hefty chunk doing Incineroar, because Collision Course does get a multiplier if it hits a super effective attack, and unfortunately it's still Dark type, and that's going to be why Incineroar fainted. Koraidon protects just before Oblique Wind Storm comes incoming. And here's a Protect now from the Lunala. I lost myself in my own words. And here's Tailwind from Tyler's Tornadus to get the speed advantage on his favor, but who knows if that's enough against the Koraidon, who's already got a +2 speed boost. Here's Thunderbolt targeting the Tornadus. It faints.
Yeah. And I think that's the end of the battle. I don't think that Lunala will be able to take a Thunderclap, and it can't attack without taking a Thunderclap.
Should it survive a -2 Flare Bullets in the rain? I think it should, so it's like...
It's at 34 HP. It's going to be difficult for it to do that, and it's still a neutral hit. It's still Terra Fire. I don't really know if it would take that hit.
Here's Flare Blitz.
We'll find out.
Yeah, here we go. This is a -2 Flare Blitz in rain. Run this Koraidon. Yeah, I was going to say, it should easily take that hit with Lunala's high base HP stat and great defenses as well. Here's Lunala going for a Dazzling Lead. It needs to be able to knock out his Raging Bolt in order to give Tyler a chance to win the game. It doesn't even knock out either Pokemon. Resisted hit on Koraidon. His Raging Bolt took it very well. There's a Thunderbolt. Robert wins game 1.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, oh, Thunderclap would have KO'd. Like, there's no way that Lunala was going to KO, so you don't gotta mess around with Thunderclap. You just Thunderbolt and you win. And there was still a full health Lunala in the back there for Robert.
The thing is, you don't Thunderclap there because you're still antsy about Tyler going for a Calm Mind there. And
yeah.
If Calm Mind was clicked, then Koraidon did the right thing and go for a Flip, which is like your best damage available. And Thunderbolt was just a safer option in case Lunala did click Calm Mind, so it just put Tyler in a pin position. It's like, okay, you either lose a Thunderclap or you set up a Calm Mind and I still damage you.
Yeah, there were a lot of outs for Robert at that point, which I guess you just lead earlier in the battle and you say, okay, where did Robert get all of that from? And you look at the turn where both Pokemon just took out the Zamazenta, where the Koraidon and the Raging Bolt doubled up on that Zamazenta and took it out in just one hit, and it's like, okay, what what is Zamazenta here to do? And that's the thing about this double restricted format, is it feels a lot better than in Reg G to leave out a restricted or to sack a restricted if you need to, but you still have to look at them as the building blocks of your team, and if Zamazenta's just not accomplishing something, then what's it there for?
Yeah, that's the issue of these double restricted formats. You know, some restricteds do well against other Pokemon. Zamazenta's, in this case, not bad in the Koraidon, but Lunala definitely gets in trouble, and Zamazenta never wants to take a fire type attack from this Koraidon, especially with Terra Fire. But here we go. Game number 2, round number 1. We see the Koraidon Raging Bolt lead straight up from Robert. And Tyler once again leads Lunala and Incineroar. So this Clear Amulet now back online for Koraidon in this brand new game, meaning his teammate's not going to do much of anything.
Yeah, but at the same time, you do have to... I mean, you have to worry about a lot from this Incineroar. Obviously, you have to worry about the Will-O-Wisp that Tyler went for in that first game. Probably want to Terra Fire early on in the battle regardless, so it might not really matter, but that's certainly an aspect of it. And past that, you have to worry about knockoff, getting rid of the Clear Amulet, you have to worry about fake out in general. Lunala certainly has the opportunity to just go for a Calm Mind turn 1 without really a ton of fear.
And there is that Terrestrial Resistance from Robert on turn 1. Will it be, which dragon is it? It's Koraidon the Fire again, so it does come in well on this, but it won't come in fake out though. But it's tough to tell what Incineroar wants to do to turn number 1, because you either want to go for that fake out or you want to go for a utility move right out of the gate. Incineroar fakes out, but it goes to the Raging Bolt.
Yeah. I don't hate that decision.
Yeah, there's a Flare Blitz now from this Koraidon with the Gory Counter Boost and Shadow Shield and a critical hit. Still is able to at least hold on at 67 HP. Lunala does get the Calm Mind up, but I think it took a lot more damage than it would have wanted.
Yeah, the critical hit is what really changed that play, because I think the idea for Tyler was, okay, I make sure that Raging Bolt can't snarl me, which is the big issue for Lunala, because then you drop the special attack. And whatever Koraidon does, I have Shadow Shield up, I'm gonna be fine. The crit is the problem there, because that did a lot more damage.
Yeah, and that's also now forcing a Protect from the Lunala to make sure it survives the hit against something like a Flame Charge, or another Flare Blitz in this case.
I think the goal here for Tyler is probably to get the Tornadus in, assuming they have it.
There's Thunderbolt. Onto the Incineroar. That's okay, even with Photosynthesis it doesn't even do half. It might be a roll, and here's the party shot onto the Raging Bolt, going to lower attack and special attack, so it is going to get progressively weaker. Is Koraidon still a major threat? And now let's see what Tyler has in the back in store. We're bringing in the Rillaboom.
Yeah, I guess the two options were either bring in Rillaboom for fake out pressure to allow Lunala to get a hit off, or bring in Tornadus for Tailwind to get Lunala a hit off. The problem is, nothing Lunala does... Oh, and this does heal up Lunala a lot more, which is nice.
Yeah, the Leftovers Grassy Terrain Recovery combination, always I try that too with some of these setup Pokemon, like Lunala in this instance holding that Leftovers, which, you know, we're going to go Milwaukee stuff, but like, we've seen Lunala run different sets. We've seen Power Herb, we've seen a defensive electricity. We've seen leftovers here, and we've seen the Rillaboom get out of here and get the Incineroar in.
This is a super aggressive play. I'm really interested to see how this works out for Tyler, because this could be borderline series or set losing if it doesn't really go correctly.
Okay, you guys got your Raging Bolt switching out.
Yeah, that's really big.
And Ogerpon comes in, thankfully not intimidated, but it is under fake out pressure still. Trying to see what Koraidon does this turn, as Ogerpon is going to activate that Mold Breaker, which, fun fact, Mold Breaker does break through Shadow Shield.
It does not.
What?
Shadow Shield ignores all those abilities.
Oh, that's actually interesting.
Yeah, it ignores Turbo Blaze, it ignores Mold Breaker, it's horrible. It's truly upsetting if you, for example, are playing Kyurem White. Okay, that's a really great read for Tyler there. Reading, switch out, protect, no damage.
And a Calm Mind comes out too!
And getting the Calm Mind off, and the free switch, so you do have fake out pressure still this upcoming turn. It was a really, really good turn.
Alright, and here goes more Grassy turn recovery, revealing Koraidon is still the fastest thing in play. Lunala second up. I mean, before his Ogerpon comes in, because Ogerpon has full HP, so we don't know that much right now. Lunala gets more HP recovery, and Incineroar is the last to recover.
Yeah, and I mean, Lunala is slowly creeping back up to Shadow Shield. I don't think it'll get there, but you do have to at least invest a token amount of effort into making sure it doesn't get there and trying to get another hit down on it.
And there's the collision course that's going to immediately take out this Incineroar. No questions asked. Down it goes.
Yeah. And I like the aggressive play from Tyler to go, okay, I have fake out pressure. I'm going to use the pressure of fake out pressure instead of fake out itself, and it didn't really work out.
Yeah.
And you do have fake out pressure next turn if you bring in Rillaboom again, or you can bring in the Tornadus and get Tailwind. The same as the previous Incineroar switch out, of course.
This Lunala's getting a lot of HP back. We see,
it really is.
Yeah, it is. And Tyler now bringing in his last Pokemon at this game. It's going to be Tornadus.
Okay. Yeah, it is the Tornadus there, and at this point the question is simply, how do you manage these two Pokemon here? And
well, Rainus is one of them.
Yeah, and I mean, you're taking away all of the strong damage from these Pokemon.
Like this Flare Blitz from this Koraidon, which is still at neutral, but now it just has to deal with the rain. Okay, around 25%-ish HP taken by that Lunala. Ogerpon also goes like because of doubles into the Lunala. Not a critical hit, but around the same damage that it took with that Flare Blitz from Koraidon. And we do know this Moongeist thing is going to knock the Ogerpon, because we see it knock out +1, it definitely knocks out +2.
Yeah, no doubter there. And the big question here is just, can Robert get rid of Lunala before Lunala... Because Lunala only really gets to single target a lot of this stuff. It does have Dazzling Gleam, but Gleam is not going to knock out even Raging Bolt at this point. And it's definitely not going to be a serious threat against Koraidon. So the main question is just, are there enough Moongeists and fake outs in the world to get Lunala through this?
Alright, the Koraidon switch out from Robert, as using the Raging Bolt was the switch in for the fallen Ogerpon, and Lunala is the last Pokemon from Robert's side again. Torn switches out back into Rillaboom for Tyler. Moongeist Beam looks pretty good against either one of these Pokemon. Dazzling Gleam wouldn't be a bad option either, but that does hit into a Shadow Shield. Lunala just protects just for the safe HP recovery.
Yeah. The one thing I don't know is whether Moongeist ignores Shadow Shield.
There's a Thunderbolt into the Rillaboom and gets a critical hit for its trouble. No paralysis.
A bit more damage than I was expecting there. Probably not going to be super meaningful, but more damage than I had anticipated. Yeah, I actually don't know if Moongeist ignores Shadow Shield, because both of them ignore the other, theoretically.
And the Grassy Terrain is gone. That might have been a little odd, but at the same time, you're not really sweating the Grassy Terrain anymore. I think Lunala's getting enough HP recovery to facilitate its great damage output and bulk.
Yeah, it's certainly fine on that level. It's mostly...
Oh, there's a crit back on the fake out. Crit for crit, I guess. And there's a Meteor Beam from this Lunala. It does reveal that it is going to be that Power Herb set, and it will use it up immediately. The new question, does it hit?
Yeah, does it hit, and also how much does it do to the...
It hits the Lunala.
Defense? Yeah.
So now it's technically a +1. Okay, not enough damage to knock it out quite yet. Here's Moongeist Beam onto the Lunala. Will it knock out through the Shadow Shield? Because I really Moongeist Beam should ignore that Shadow Shield. Yeah, it does knock out. In one hit.
I was going to say, it might have done that anyway. At +2 against a 4 times weak target. That's, what, like a 8 times multiplier? that might have just gone through Shadow Shield regardless. Honestly, I don't know.
But we do know that Koraidon's coming back with the Orichalcum Pulse.
Yeah, the important thing is that Koraidon's able to come back in fairly safely now. You can... I mean, there's a very safe play for Robert at this point, which is just to attack into the Lunala and attack into the Rillaboom.
And Lunala's going to protect to at least blink one of these attacks, but we don't know which one is attacking which. Yeah, and Flare Blitz into the Lunala, so definitely Robert's valuing this Koraidon's speed to take care of the Lunala, and Rillaboom does U-turn, so it's going to be a pivotal role for this Tornadus to either set up a tailwind for Lunala to be faster and sweeper, or
get knocked out by Thunderbolt immediately. Like, that's my question, is just, did a Thunderbolt come into that slot? Because I wasn't sure if Rillaboom...
It did.
Yeah, I was going to say, it makes sense if Rillaboom is just slower than whatever. Because at that point, it's like, you're either doing nothing this turn, if you leave Rillaboom in to do anything else. And it means that Rain Dance can't get back up. It does mean that Fake Out Pressure is here again.
And Grassy Terrain.
And Grassy Terrain is back. But at the same time... It's getting to the point where you're just kind of reading out who gets to... I don't know. It's really interesting at this point, because it's just a question of whether... Because Robert's Koraidon is faster than Tyler's Lunala.
And he's going to protect and fake out turn.
I think you have to do that. And the question here is... That's a fairly obvious play. Did Tyler go?
Ooh, Moonlight Beam into the Raging Bolt at +2 special attack against this Electric Dragon, and it does not get KO'd. Is there a double up? Yes, there is, with the Wood Hammer. It's just Koraidon versus the world, but I don't think this is an impossible task for this Ancient Paradox.
That's the thing. This Rillaboom doesn't have anything to touch Koraidon, I don't think. And so it's just a question of, like...
Oh, yeah, the question is, like, who do you target? Because Lunala is still threatening to protect.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, a Flare Blitz at this point should just knock it out, yeah? And, like, you're not taking any damage from Rillaboom, so you could just take out the Lunala whenever it's convenient, and then take out the Rillaboom.
But here's the problem. Do you anticipate the Lunala to protect, or do you feel confident to live a +2 Moonlight Beam?
I feel like you're stunting if you you're intentionally trying to create a cool clip if you go into the Rillaboom right now. It will be a cool clip, but you're going for a cool clip.
It is a cool clip. It is a cool clip. You did call it, Dennis, and there's the Flame Charge onto the Rillaboom, knocks it out with that boosted power, and there's a Flame Charge speed boost as well. Lunala, I do not believe he's going to win this 1v1.
Absolutely not. There's no way that it takes a Flame Charge at this point. Or not a Flame Charge, a Flare Blitz at this point. I think the only way is if, like, you stall out the sun or something, or you get back up with Shadow Shield. I don't really see a way out of it.
How many turns is that? I believe there's, like, maybe 3 turns left the sun. We really saw that there was 3 turns of terrain left.
Flare Blitz just gets it done.
Yeah, here's the Flare Blitz with this Koraidon. What a way for this Regulation I to begin here. Cycle Turtle plays 2-0 victory from Robert Matthews with the Koraidon.
And he gets a funny clip with Koraidon. Again, like, I don't think it was necessary. There was nothing that Rillaboom could have really done that would have threatened things. Like... But it was really funny.
I think it was more than funny because it's like... You only go for that play if you know for a fact that Lunala is protecting, which is like a soul reader. It's like, look, I know you're protecting.
It's like you lose if Lunala doesn't protect there.
That was always the risk.
A third game, I guess. But like, you still, if you attack into the protect, you probably still win. I don't know. It was a fun play. It was a fun set.
Yes, it was. And congratulations again to Robert Matthews winning the first Regulation I tournament here on stream at Psychosota Plays.
Well, just the first game, not the first tournament.
Yeah, it is the first round, so don't fret. We'll have more winners soon enough. In fact, we'll get another winner soon after this break once we get to round 2.